This is how we can make the start of the meeting start.
See the fish gun thing going.
Okay, we are going to call the meeting to order.
It's Arts and Crafts Day at the Select Board.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Updates to the agenda. We'll start with arts and crafts session. Mileage certification for our roads. Appointment of a moderator for town meeting. Records restoration. And an executive session for personnel. Are there any other updates to the agenda? If not, we'll move on to public comment. I don't see any public there. I don't see any public there. Look at us cruising on. Long-term debt loan approvals. This is the loan to cover the short taxes for the year.
Oh, yep.
Yep. They're here. As we all know, at the end of the year. Oh, my piece of paper. I got it.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve and sign loan agreement with the Community National Bank in the amount of $350,000 in order to fund municipal operations in lieu of delinquent collections.
And a second for that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Was supposed to.
If we could do something about that, don't we? See, stop borrowing that money.
Beat them up.
So be.
It's been going on for a few years.
I know.
We've done that we always have to do that. No, people are never all paid by December 31st.
Well, I mean, I hate to tell you to put down the scissors. I don't, I'm kind of busy. Should probably let everybody know why everybody's cutting out fish. Everybody's cutting out fish for the Tri-County Kids Fishing Tournament, which is coming out. There. Now everybody knows why everybody's got scissors.
Is everybody scissors?
No, just Eugene.
Well, using the same
Gonna
ink
use
tonight,
it.
I see.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, is that why I don't have? I'm gonna make slow signing process.
I'll get mine out as soon as I'm done this fish.
We get up, kind of all these out.
Hey, out my pen. Here.
You want
Can't go home until you get them all done, Mike.
You're gonna be here a while.
Mike has a pen.
She's counting on you.
I can cut that on here.
Need thin color ink or just no?
Where'd my
They don't
pen
care.
go?
I think
In Bill's hand.
Where there, Bill has.
Bill's got it.
Getting another pad.
If you see who's watching.
No, it's just Joel and me. We're it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to find a place to buy these.
Oh, they only put 3 places on there.
Hopefully this will be our last,
Is that right?
we missed a whole page.
Yep.
Send that sucker back over.
Yeah, you can put yours somewhere on the side. They only put 3 spaces in there, so.
I was doing like I did on the side.
I don't remember seeing 2 pages. Japan. Should have got
Hey.
another pen.
Blame the fish.
Yes, for sure. Well, I don't fish.
Okay. So we have end of year and budget discussions. Do we want to put that, the other stuff
would-
ahead of that?
Yeah, I would go ahead and put the other stuff ahead of that so you can be done with all the signing and crap.
Okay.
Because that's going to be a while.
So we are on the mileage certification. So we need to recertify again, number of miles in the roads that we have in town. They haven't changed.
No, we have not added new roads.
We haven't added a new super highway or anything like that, so
No.
I think we're good.
All right. I make a motion to approve and sign the certificate of highway mileage for the year ending February 2026.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so this just needs,
I think you just have to mark
Oh,
the
it
green
does.
box and then they all have to sign it.
They all have to sign it. Yep. I thought it was just the chair, but all you have to sign it on the bottom there.
I know, I thought it was kind of official for something that's kind of just a basic form we do every year. Whatever.
Yeah, I would think they would just say, hey,
Has it changed?
No. And
There's no lines, Mike.
on the
You're not missing the lines.
All right.
It's
I
not-
looked for them
it's-
myself as well.
It's not like the fish.
Yeah. Gene, I think I'll just put them all together.
I think that would be a disaster.
Yeah, because they'll move and
The sisters are not that sharp.
Uh,
It'd be really cool if somebody cut out the fin and we made the tuna 3-dimensional.
Yeah,
But
what-
then Mike, now that goes down. Oh, okay.
Thought that was Jean's pen.
I think it is,
Oh,
but that's okay.
Mike's the one
I
who's.
got all kinds of them.
There. Oh, boy.
yep.
You're welcome. You like the pen?
Nope, I got my own. Have her pen back.
Yeah, I don't care.
So we have, appointment of a moderator. We do not currently have a moderator, so we need to appoint a moderator for town meetings. And it appears that Joe Cope is willing to be our town moderator.
What a guy.
Do it quickly before he pipes
Don't
up.
let him
I
finish
don't think,
my
I don't think he was
I
really
make a motion to
willing.
appoint Joe Cope to serve as town moderator for the 2026 town meeting and informational session.
And
I'll
all in favor.
Aye.
Hi.
There's no getting out of it now, Joel.
Teresa drafted him earlier today.
Yeah, I went and I said, you're gonna be our moderator. He's like,
Oh, we can't see. Oh, there you are. Hey, now he's smiling.
Oh, sorry,
So
Joel.
happy.
Too late. They've already pointed you.
It's a great paying job.
Well,
It pays in good, warm, fuzzy feeling.
Yeah.
yeah, but I'll do
Make
best I can.
0-0.
Okay, so records, retentions.
So we kind of missed this about 2 years ago. The legislature passed a new law regarding we're supposed to have a reserve fund for restoration and preservation of records. Now, we've always put $500 in the budget every year for records, and we never do anything with it. We used that, we actually took that money and opened the account this year, so we actually have the account open already. But we're supposed to be putting $4 per page into that account. And so when we get to the budget this year, you're going to see it's about $10,000 a year that we should be putting away in this fund. So yeah, it's kind of, I didn't realize how much we actually record, but it is a whole lot of stuff. And so I just wanted you guys to be aware that that's in there. When we get to the budget, you're going to see that it's in there. It is a big line item that we had not planned for, but going forward, we can use that money to actually digitize our records. So I think it'll be a great fund to have, where we could use that as a match towards maybe a grant to get all of our records digitized and get rid of some of the paper out of that office. But
And if
I don't
we're
think
required to
anybody-
do it.
none of us
Okay,
actually
sure.
ever noticed it, but it's in the law now, and it specifically states we are required to put $4 per page in this fund, and we've not been doing it. So
How much is in the fund now?
the
$500
$500 that
Oh,
we
that's
put
it.
aside this
Oh,
year,
I thought we did
that's it.
500 every year. Okay.
No, we never put it away. We just kind of let it go away in the budget
Mm.
every year. So,
we just kind of used it to offset because it's all under town clerk fees when we collect the fees for recording,
Mhm.
because we've collected it all along. But it's gone under town clerk fees and it's just to
Oh.
offset whatever else was in the budget. Because it was never a line item that we said, oh, nope, 10,000 has to be used for this.
right. And
So
we're
like
actually
the
gonna track the number of
20,000
pages.
Right, so like the 20,000 that we collected last year in town clerk fees, We just used it to offset whatever else.
Okay. So do we need any, we don't need any action on that. We just need to be
because
aware of it,
we-
correct?
I think you guys just need to be aware of it. I mean, it was already a budget line item, so I don't know that it's something, but in next year's budget, it's a much bigger number.
Okay. So looking at this, we are at the end of year budget discussions.
You
Yeah.
want to do pay orders and
Or
stuff?
do we want to do pay orders first? Let's go do the pay orders first. We'll do pay orders in minutes and then we'll do that budget
I'll start
discussion.
one here and one over here. How's that?
Sounds perfect. It's a big old stack. Spaces are important on your invoices, people. I'm like, what's a web GIS? And then I realized it's web GIS.
While you're signing this is just an information thing that I will give you guys to look over if you want. This is just, we got our common level of appraisal from the state. So it shows where we are at. You want to look at that.
Where is it?
That was after the reappraisal right there. No,
Were we good?
that's 90 something.
Beautiful.
He's doing a heck of a good job. No, I was watching these guys cutting their fish.
I should warn them that, if they do too good of a job, she'll have them doing that every year.
Won't be here.
No, this will hopefully be the last year we ever have to do this.
What, you're not doing fish next year?
No, once I get them laminated, I'll have
And
to
have
keep
'em-
cutting them out.
Oh, because they'll write right on the,
Go right on, I'll clean them off and then we don't have to do them. But I only had like 10 fish last year. And every location that's selling them should have at least one tuna. I'll pick up where you're taking off. And you'll see why I'm not allowed to do this.
Of your oil supply just off there, Gene.
my what?
The oil supply tickets. Right next to your purse. There would, yep.
Oh, these.
There you go.
I mean, if you want,
Oh,
you want to pay the town's
I'm like, supply.
oil bills,
It's like, why do I have my oil supply bills here? Back? Hmm.
which might deliver this week.
Did you pre-buy anybody?
No,
I didn't pre-buy. I just got a fixed rate.
We had a chance for 318. It's been the oil down. Is it a good thing?
I never thought about blaming oil.
You got it for 318, Mike?
No, I could have bought it for 317, but I didn't this year. I chose not, to. I just took a gamble. Now it's like 280, I think, 285, I think it's less.
I'll screw up his eyebrow.
Venezuela oil.
I was gonna say, it's that Venezuelan oil.
Mike.
Yeah, one more little pin here. Priorities. Another tuna and my limit.
Yeah, right.
That's why nobody comes to the meeting. They don't want to cut out tunas. I want a square tuna. least the whale is, a whale. Tell we're step with that responsibility.
Did you just order these or did you print them? I just printed them.
I ordered them. They'd have been already die cut out, just like all the rest of the fish.
No, but I mean, I didn't know if the. I don't.
Let me take over while I'm waiting.
They're gonna,
Sure. Oh, here, never mind. She's gonna be done.
we short on scissors.
Yeah, I know. I thought you
You're
had.
short on scissors.
We're missing 3 pair.
Yeah. Did not come prepared.
Don't worry, if you want to do it again, once we get them limited, we cut them out again.
Should have laminated and then you could have cut them.
There
It
you
wouldn't
go.
work,
No, why not?
because you'd laminate the whole sheet of paper
Yeah, and
and then it wouldn't, like, it's the edges. It doesn't actually like, wouldn't go around the edge of the fish. Like, you have to leave a 1/4 inch gap on the lamination. Is why it's not so bad, because I just cut that.
You gonna take over here, Bill?
No, you're doing a good job.
I guess that's you. I'm gonna try to see if I can copy. These are good scissors
Yeah.
compared to the ones I got. A little rusty, but well,
I hang out in the basement. A lot of things that hang out in the basement get rusty, right, Bill?
So Mike, I heard on the news that Vermont got some big money to give out throughout the state of Vermont. Is this true? Do you know anything about that?
For what purpose?
Well,
I did not, so was that today? I didn't see anything today.
There's several purposes. It was actually, I had it on my phone today, but it has something to do with, they were giving out some monies for projects like our sewer and our water project. And I just go to his philscott.gov or something like that, and then it'll give you the list of the things. It had something in there saying they had some monies to help for water and projects and going on some of these small towns. Now, whether or not to give it to this county because we're red. But I don't know. I'll look that up and I'll send you that. If you can't find it, I'll send you that link.
I'll look it up. I'll look
Okay.
and see what they have to say. I've been in your budget all day today. I have not
Yeah,
been
no,
on
but this
anything else.
this just barely came to light here within a day or two.
I'd be surprised if there was any real new money out there.
Okay.
They probably just allocated existing money.
There's a little bit for the medical centers in the Head Start program, new money, but that's all.
Yeah, I'm for sure. That last pay order make it around?
I think you had it.
No, it's right here, I believe.
Oh, I signed it.
I think I did. I just sign that damn thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Missing yours.
Gross.
If I read that correctly. Still got more than half of us, so.
Joel got kicked out.
I
Or
was
he-
gonna say,
he dropped.
nobody knew stuff.
The wind blew and his internet died.
I'm back.
This is a good sign, right?
Is that kind of how it works, Joel?
Yes.
You still got dial up?
Yeah,
Approved
You
again
turn your
this
head
year.
the wrong way and
God.
The mouse gets tired of turning the wheel.
New mouse.
Approved minutes while you're waiting.
Anybody want to do the minutes? Everybody's read them?
They're in your packet too, because I was late emailing them out.
Accept the minutes from December 3rd, 2025 board, select board meeting is written.
A second? That was Bill.
Bill,
Either one.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Okay, so now we can go to the end of your budget discussion.
yeah, there we go.
I'm bouncing all over on this piece of paper. It's not working for me.
Oops, he just left.
Want them
Oh,
all.
he just shared his screen.
Let's see. Can you see that okay? I'm gonna,
No,
if somebody pops in, I'll let you know, but I think if I get rid of that.
make that bigger.
Yeah.
We've got the same copy here in front of us, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay. This works.
Let me finish this little.
Trying to see if I can make it any. Is that any
That's
better?
our budget.
Not much.
Oh, well, sorry.
Oh,
We got him here, Mike.
Okay.
that fell off.
Got to put your peepers on, Mike.
I got, I got both pair on. All right.
Okay. So let me get rid of that on my way. So do you want to just go through it kind of line by line? This is kind of, we're pretty much, I've tried reallocating everything that's not finished yet with on Teresa's side, because at the end of the year, there's a lot of stuff that has to get moved around, and we still have some work to do on that. The revenue side in particular, that's why it's not on what you've got yet. I haven't got that finished yet because we're still looking for where some of the state payments come in. They're not marked, and so trying to figure out what is takes time. So I'll hopefully have that for you in the next day or two. But so we can kind of go. So I did, as we had discussed, the individual department salaries are kind of lumped together. For a couple reasons. One is, staff don't really like, people sitting there comparing my salary to my neighbor's salary. If somebody wants to know a salary, it is public record, but they can come into town hall and ask for it. It does not need to be published the way it was. The other thing is this year, because there were so many staffing changes, it's not like you're really going to be able to look at those salary numbers and tie them to a person, because we have one line item that's got like $115,000 worth of staff salaries, because it's just all the independent contractors that were working in January when we had no road crew. So I kind of combined all that together so that it's at least presentable and makes more sense when you look at it. These are the salaries that cover the road crew and Bruce. I included Bruce in here because otherwise his salary would be the one that would show in the book individually, because his department doesn't have any other stuff. And so road and maintenance are pretty close together, and he's a union employee with the other two road workers, so it made sense to just lump him in there. That's our actual for 2025, which came in a little high, but not as bad as I expected. And for 2026, that includes, we don't really have much say as far as 3 of the 4 employees in there, because it's part of their union contract. It started January 1st. You guys all have copies of that to know what their current pay rates are, but they went up January 1st, and we don't have a choice on that. Nick, I adjusted his salary based upon what we had discussed previously, and then he got the same 4% raise we're doing for all the staff. We did raise the overtime budget for this year, because Nick pointed out to me that based upon, the new union wage scale, that, we've been using $15,000 for the road crew for a lot of years. Well, that does not cover the amount of overtime that it's not even close to what we're gonna use. So we actually raised the overtime budget for the road crew to 25,000, and then for maintenance, it was 2,000, I made it 4,000. So that puts us at 29,000 for an overtime budget.
A
Social,
more realistic number.
yeah, I think it's, and I feel like that's probably reasonably what we'll end up with. Because that's about, you see this past year we used 21,000, and that was, without a road crew most of last winter. So I think 29, let's see, no, we used 19,000. Sorry, I think 29,000 will cover it. Social Security, the child tax credit, those are all set. Retirement, it's kind of a laborious calculation now because it's not calculated the same for all employees. Union has one set of rules for what gets paid for, and town staff have the others. So it's kind of you can't like do a direct calculation on that, but that is it. And most of you have a breakout from all of the staff salaries that shows you what that retirement amount is. Mileage is when they go to any kind of training. Normally they take a town truck, so there is no mileage expense, but occasionally I believe we had Nick had to go to something and he had to take his own vehicle. Uniforms, were required to provide uniforms for all the union staff. I do not know how much will need to be replaced this year because we did buy all of it new this past year. So I left 3,000. We didn't have a budget for it last year, and it cost us $3,600. I'm assuming we can probably do it for a little less than that this year because we won't have to replace everything. So I put 3,000
I
in
think
the
if
budget.
I remember correctly, there was a certain number of certain items that had to be issued every year.
The contract doesn't state every year. I mean, they get a shoe allowance every year, and they get their pants allowance every year. But like the shirts, jackets, sweatshirts, all that stuff that we buy, it's kind of on an as needed. We have to supply it, but it depends upon when they need replacements. So, and when I talked to Bruce about it, he said they're not going to need new ones every year. It'll be a couple of everything. So we'll put in one order sometime after budget season. Training, that was a big line item for us this year because we got one of our road workers got their CDL license that the town paid for. Everybody has a CDL now, so I don't envision us having that. So the $500 is just for if we send them for any additional training. Health insurance. So we had a big budget line item for that last year because it was based upon the previous road crew, which had family plans and different working rules than what we have with the union now. So we're actually lower than, that line item actually dropped. You can see we came in way under because we didn't have road crew the first part of the year, so there was no benefits. So we actually come out, when you compare budget to budget, we're a 1% increase on the personnel cost on the road crew. So I don't think we can get much better than that. Any questions before we move on to the next section?
I'm good.
Okay. So I can't see you guys, so.
Yep. We're good.
So then we go to roads and streets. So I worked with Nick on this, and he kind of gave me what his wishes and hopes and dreams were. In past years, we've always had, so salt and chloride, we went up because he said we need a bigger budget for that than what we have. But you're going to see aggregates in here now, and that's everything used to be sand, seed, stone, all of that stuff. From year to year, we don't really know what we need or what we need to buy. And so we kind of decided to lump that all together and put it as one item. They kind of spend it how it needs to be spent each year.
Yes, hi.
It seemed to make more sense to do it that way. And that Nick was good with that. He doesn't like it when a line item shows that it's over budget. Well, it's only over budget because you didn't need seed this year. You needed sand this year. So we kind of combined all that. Paving, we put that into a fund and we'll pave every couple of years. Culverts, the same. We didn't change anything on that. Survey and engineering, we didn't change. Most of these kind of stayed the same. The ones supplies and materials, I took it up a little bit. We spent 11,700 this year. Our budget was 7,000. Nick wanted it to go up. He didn't really specify how much, so I'm gonna assume, 3,000 is probably a good number, unless you guys think it should be something different.
Closer to what we spent. That looks good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We've got mostly new equipment now, so there's not as much, repairs, but there's stuff we need. Street signs, I took that up to 5,000 because we just seem to be spending street signs constantly. I mean, it was high this year at 65 because they bought a sign package that was missing when they took over. We were missing all the safety signs for when they do road work. And so we purchased that, which we shouldn't have to purchase again because we have it now. But it seems like we have more and more road signs stolen, damaged, whatever. So I feel like we should probably increase that budget line item.
Wind's been whipping them off the posts.
Contracted services, I took that up only because we're going to have some projects this year, which you'll see there's a grant reimbursement underneath there because we already have 15,000 of that is already signed and agreed to by the state. And I anticipate probably another grants and aid project, or actually a Better Roads project that's going to come into there as well. So I put 20,000 in. I'm going to guess it may be higher than that for the grant reimbursement, but until we actually have the documents signed and approved, we won't know. And that's something the state does in the next couple months. Infrastructure reserve fund, we put the same amount in every year. Which puts us at 162 for the new year. We were underspent last year, but primarily that's because we didn't have road crew in January and February. So we end up, budget over budget, about a 2% increase. So that's not too bad. The garage. So this one, most everything I kind of kept the same. We're going to be doing some MERP improvements down there, but those are a net zero cost to the town. We do have a big line item in here, though. We have $10,000 I put in. I have no idea what this is going to cost. But we have the tank at the Old Town Garage that we have to have removed. We've been notified by the state that we have to do it now. So that'll be a project we'll be doing in the spring. And it's just, it has to be a specialty company. It's a special way. They have to remove the tank, and let's hope that it didn't leak.
Mike, have we applied for the underground storage tank program?
We have not, because they kind of told me that we did not qualify for that originally based upon what they thought that the tank was, that it was not going to qualify for that. But we have not done that yet. At least that's what the guy at the state told me. He didn't think we qualified. They would pay for cleanup, but they would not pay for removal of the tank. That was on us. So that line item puts us way over, a way big budget increase, but that's pretty much all related to that tank removal. So sins of the
Which
past.
will be, in theory, if it didn't leak, a one-time expense.
Right. It should, and hopefully, maybe it won't cost $10,000, but I don't know what the cost is yet. We have to bid that out. I'm just putting a placeholder amount in there so we have something.
But the state would help pay for any,
it would be like the town hall cleanup.
yeah.
There would be years and years of, this tank, I don't think will be as big of an issue. It's not fuel oil, it's a gasoline tank. So gasoline tends not to cause the same issues. And as far as we know, it hasn't been leaking. I mean, it still was in there after all these years. What happened was somebody removed the filler tube that was there, and so it filled with water when we had a big rain and during all the flooding last year, and then all that came floating to the top to the surface. So it has been capped and resealed, but they want it out of the ground now. So equipment, I kind of kept our equipment budget the same. We did buy the truck this year, but that came out of the reserve funds and the truck rebates, so we did not actually have any cost for that. I mean, we had a cost, but we did not have to take anything out of the budget for that. Maintenance and repairs, fuel, all of those stayed the same. The grader payment, the dump truck payment don't change, and Bruce's tractor payment is in there. And good news is that 2026 is the final payment on that.
Oh, it means we're gonna need a new one. We're probably gonna need a new one in 2027.
I don't think, when I talked to Bruce, I'll check with Bruce, but I don't think so. He said he just barely had to change the oil on it because it just didn't have that many hours on it. So,
That's good. The last one we had wore out pretty quick.
yeah, well, and we'll look at it, but maybe we can get another year or two out of it. Let's hope. So, that budget line item didn't change any. So the total for the road department actually ends up being about a 2% increase year over year. So, and if you guys see anything you want changed or you think we need to talk about, please just flag me as we're going through this. I just don't want to keep you here all night if you don't want to be. So the next one, town administration. So the town administration salaries is town clerk, all the staff in the town clerk's office, my salary, the rec director, Joel's salary, those are all lumped in there. And surprisingly, we actually came in under budget, and I'm not quite sure how we did that this year, but we did. And you'll see there's a substantial increase in that line item next year, and that's basically because we're looking at adding 2 positions. We've already talked about adding a finance position for the town clerk's office. And I believe when we add that position, it is in there as a full-time position right now. But we also have Lisa in there as a full-time position, and I think she might want to cut back once we actually hire that other person. Not guaranteeing that, but I think that's something we would be looking at. And then I also have the economic development part-time person in that line item. But as I've said before, if we don't get our grant, we will not be filling that position, and that position will come out of the budget before it gets finalized. Social Security, retirement, all those things are just calculations. Training, we had an $1,800 budget. I think we should keep it because actually I don't think the 226.38 is not correct. Because I did attend a training session, but I think it's lumped in as a miscellaneous expense right now that will get reallocated. And I anticipate I'll probably be doing a couple of those training classes again this year, and we may be doing some other ones with the town clerk's office and NIMRIC and that kind of stuff. So I think we need to make sure we have some training money for that. Reimbursements, this is primarily coming back from water and sewer. You'll see it is reduced this year because they actually are taking, Katie is going to work with them, so it will reduce the number of hours that I spend working on water and sewer. So we reduce the reimbursement that's coming back to the town for mine, because her line item actually does not include that work, is actually going to be in their budget. It won't be in the town budget. Mileage and travel expenses, that's everybody's mileage, and then my travel expenses when I'm back and forth and at conferences and all that good stuff. And that's kind of, I based it upon what we actually spent last year and put a little bit of addition onto it in case lodging rates go up. Office expenses. So I moved some stuff around from the previous budgets because some of this stuff was listed on the general fund, and it actually should kind of be in office expenses. Makes more sense than having it underneath just kind of in this nebulous area. So I moved some of these things around. All the telephone expenses for each of us is included in here, plus the town office's phones. Office equipment, I bumped that line item up a little bit because I'm not quite sure what we're going to need for printers and computers going forward. I mean, we replaced a lot of the computers recently, but there's still a couple more that are probably going to need it. And I just want to make sure that we keep up with all of our stuff. And I know Teresa's going to need a new printer because her printer is awful.
I love that printer.
I know we'll get you one just like it, but that one has had the radish. It's
On its
well
last day.
used out.
So am I.
Office
Gotcha.
supplies I kept the same because we didn't really go over budget on that. Town meeting elections I kept the same because that's the same budget line item we've had. And here's the big increase: the records restoration and preservation reserve fund. We put 10,000 in, but that will be a real actual based upon the number of pages we do. So, it'll be tied to the revenue that comes in for it. So if we do more, this line item goes up, but so will the revenue. If we do less, this line item will be less and the revenue will be less. So that puts us for the entire department. We were under budget last year. We're projecting an 18% increase, which is higher than I like, but with adding 2 positions, there's really no way around that. And so, yeah. Any questions, concerns, anything about any of that?
Nope.
Okay. So this is something that we do need to discuss is the sheriff's department contract. So we're under again because he did not have staffing, but when I talked to him last week, he wants to know, do we want to stick with the same what we've had, which was 40 hours a week, and that's what that $98,280 contract is for. And he says that he is fully staffed now and will be able to provide that. So if we're good with that, I assume we didn't want to reduce our number of hours. So I kept that in there, but kind of, are you guys good with keeping it the same as what it was?
I guess
Yep,
that's
I am.
the
That's
people
what
wanted.
voters wanted.
That's what they wanted.
Was 40 hours a week.
Yep. Yeah. And he said that his contract rate, I believe, wasn't changing for this year. So the rescue squad, that's our new contract with them, which is a 3% increase, which seemed more than fair. Fire department, I bumped their wages and I based it upon what we actually paid out this year because I don't believe the budget number was right from last year. I think they had more firefighters than what was projected in the budget last year. So I kind of did their increase off of what we actually spent this year as opposed to what was budgeted last year. So I would kind of try to capture that. And I did those as a 4% increase as well. Social Security calculates records and reporting. We don't really get that much, but it's in the budget. We didn't spend it this year.
It would be nice to get a nice simple report from the fire department telling you where they've been, what kind of fires, because it's interesting to know, we also get money from some surrounding towns, and it's good to know so that you can get an accurate sense of what you should be charging and where they go. So they said they would give it that report, but it should be a simple report that they could pump out, but they haven't supplied it. It'd be good to get it.
Maybe I'll give them a little ask for that. It'd be nice to put it in the book.
Yep.
Mileage, I believe that's when they have to go to trainings. The electricity, I bumped it up to 3,000 only because I've heard electric rates are going up, but this, it is what it is. We are getting credits now back from our the solar array, so I would hope to see that this number actually is a little lower, but if the rates offset it, it's not going to save us anything. Heating fuel, I kept the same because we didn't spend any more. Telephone is an item that we're going to have to figure out what we're gonna do with that. I'm probably gonna try and switch the fire station to NEK broadband because it's based there. Once they light that cabinet. Simply because we're spending an enormous amount of money down there for internet and telephone when there's really nobody there 99% of the time. And I know some of that's because they have television, internet, and telephone, but it just seems really high, and we tend to get this. I mean, we're $6,000 this year. I don't understand that, so I'm going to be doing some investigation on that bill as well.
And that does sound very high.
It's high every year, and part of it's it's Comcast, so we're looking at $230 a month minimum just in the service fee down there. But I don't know if we're racking up long distance charges or something that should be flat rate, I would think. So I'm gonna do some. I just kind of been through this the last couple of days, and I haven't had time to go do any digging on that, but I'm certainly gonna want to make some changes there. Water sewer, I think that 2856 is because something got either paid wrong or after the first of the year or something of that sort. There's something in there that's not allocated correctly because they only have 1 unit of water and sewer down there, so that's not the right amount. Training, I kept their training line item the same. Equipment purchase, I put that at 10,000. They spent 8 this year. Maintenance and repairs on the building, I bumped up to 5,000 because we spent 66 on it this year, but I believe that was because of the roof on the shed and stuff that had to be replaced. Equipment maintenance is 10,000. I kind of bumped that. I swapped that $2,000 that was in equipment purchase and moved it into equipment maintenance because it seemed like they had a higher dollar amount on that line item. And some of those dollar amounts could be off because of stuff they had to buy for the new fire truck. Equipment fuel, same as last year. Firewatch the same, mutual aid the same, all those the same. We did purchase the fire truck this year. That kind of shows you how we paid for the fire truck. And we're putting $10,000 into the reserve fund for next year.
You and Greg are here.
So that keeps us at about a 3% increase on the fire department. Library, we had a recommendation for one staff person from the
Mike,
trustees.
excuse me, I'm sorry.
Sure.
I was sleeping on the helm on that rest of. One question on that fire department. Mike, when they do their gigs, their breakfast, they have certain things where they do fundraisers. Is this money is this money supposed to be recorded to?
No, that's because they're their own 501c3.
So they
That
have their own
fundraiser
separate
money
checking
stays
account
with
for that
them.
stuff.
That's
It
all
stays
there.
with them.
And where does it go? It's up to them to,
They
Yeah,
bought
that's
a
up
boat
to them. We
with
don't really have anything to do with that.
okay,
No, they bought a boat with it this year.
they did, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you,
A rescue boat purpose.
okay. Got it.
It's actually a really nice rescue boat too. It's efficient.
Go ahead, Mike, thank you.
Okay. So library, we had a request from the trustees to bump one of the employees there up an extra $1 an hour because it seemed, it was the salary was very low compared to where it should have been. So we fixed that, and then there was just a 4% increase for staffing there like everybody else. Social Security calculates, library service is the same, everything else was the same. What you're going to see, health insurance, you see that there's kind of a big drop, and that's only because the one staff person that has insurance, their total insurance cost was on the library, but they are going 16 hours a week. They're working for water and sewer starting in the new year. So 16 hours a week worth of the cost for that health insurance will get allocated to water and sewer as opposed to being allocated to the library. So that's why you see the decrease in their budget. It's not because we actually cut anything. We just added more hours somewhere else. And so they're absorbing part of that cost. Municipal building. So most of this I kind of kept the same or just adjusted. Like electricity, I gave it a little bump only because I'm not sure where electric rates are going to be. The MERP stuff is the same. It's kind of a net zero to us. We're going to be doing those projects very shortly here. We did do the hot water tank last year, and you can see that in the budget last year. Water, sewer, those are another ones where I think something carried over from the year before into this year because the dollar amounts don't make much sense as to why they are what they are. Building maintenance, I did kind of bump that up a little bit because we have to fix whatever's going on with the bank side of the building. There's a water leak into the drive-through at the bank, and we've had everybody in the world look at it and try to fix it, but I'm assuming there'll probably be some cost to repairing that, and so I kind of bumped that line item up to 10,000. You see,
Do you think that's going to be enough, Mike?
Well, I think it's probably going to get fixed as part of the painting of the building. I just assume there may be some additional, direct cost that goes to
Could also
that
be an
repair.
insurance claim.
Yeah, and it may be
Also-
an insurance claim if it's something that got damaged.
Right.
Also, the bank might be responsible for some of that.
Right. So
Yeah, there's a lot of
I don't know what it
factors.
is, so it's hard to budget for something you don't know what it is. So
I
and
think it's a
the
good
big
start.
go ahead.
It's a good start.
Yeah. It was way over budget this year, the 22,696, because of the sewer line that had to get replaced out behind town hall this year. That was a major project that we had to undertake that there was no reserve or reimbursement for. So that's what's in that line item. Building security. So we actually paid to do the locking system upgrade last year, but there is an annual fee that goes with it. And I think there's some other door locks around town hall that we may want to change out this year. So I just kind of left $1,000 in that budget line item. I added a building paint fund, $10,000, because we need to paint the building this year, and we have right around $40,000 set aside. And Joel has talked to, painters that think that's probably about what it's going to cost, but I don't like being that close on the budget. I think we should put another 10,000 into that fund to make sure we can actually, because we got a lot of rotted wood that needs to be fixed. So I kind of think that's, I kind of put that in there as a kind of stopgap to help fill the hole on that. Are you guys okay with that?
Yep. Well, it's
Yes,
Better that way.
better than that than coming asking for money later. It's doesn't sound as bad, doesn't hurt as bad. That's fine.
It'll be nice to see it next year that it didn't go over. It's the same.
So gym upkeep, you guys started this last year. You put $4,500 in there, and we put that into a reserve fund for the gym floor because every couple of years we have to refinish that thing. So I went ahead and kept the $4,500 in there for this year. If you guys are okay with that, keep that in
for
there.
sure. Yep. Works for me.
Yep.
Depot building, kind of most of that. Electric bumped up again. Energy improvements are the same there. We didn't really change anything on that building. We were way over on that maintenance and repair because of the boilers we had to replace, and we did deplete the reserve fund to help cover that cost this year. So then we can move on to the general fund. So your guys' pay didn't change. Sorry. So Joel and I talked about this. So Joel is our only lister right now, only because we drafted him and appointed him to be a lister. we've had like, $2,000 in that budget. That is not gonna cut it. I mean, the lister's job is way bigger than that. And so Joel and I kind of decided, let's put 40,000 there because we're gonna have to pay somebody to actually do this job. And whether we're gonna pay, appointed lister, elected listers, or we're gonna have to contract out with somebody else to do this job. We need to put something in there for that amount. And I also kept listing services. I left at $2,500. I kind of figured that as a consulting fee if we actually are doing just, our elected listers. We may need Matt or somebody to do some minor consulting with us on training. So I kind of left that in there. That's where the bulk of our money was last year because we were paying them for it. They have said they won't do that job anymore for us. That's why we've appointed Joel, but we need to have at least 2 listers. What we have right now is not kosher. You guys okay with that dollar? I know until we get to the bottom line, you won't agree yes or no, but you think that's
What a listing service will cost, or hiring listers will cost, then that's kind of what we got to put in there.
Yeah, I think we've got to get real about it. That, it's great to say, yeah, we're going to get listers to get elected and do it for $2,000 a year, but they're not. It's way too big of a job for that now. The reappraisal, we're done with that, so there is no cost for that this year. Auditors, I kept them the same. Zoning administrator, I added an extra 500 to the budget for him only because the planning commission's kind of pushing for more enforcement and all this kind of stuff. Well, there's a cost that comes with that. And so, we need to be prepared that he's going to have more hours than what he's been getting. So, he was only 5,000 this year, but he may end up with more next year. Then the planning commission asked for an increase in their pay. And, they wanted $800 to $1,000. They were a piece, and they were 300 a piece. And
I think it was up to $800.
Yeah,
It was up to 800.
up to 800 apiece.
Yeah. Come on, Mike, get it straight.
Yeah, well,
Don't
no,
make us look
I
bad.
believe Mark originally said 800 to 1,000 was his original, because that's what I
Yeah,
had
but
written
then in the end, he said up to 800.
Yeah, because I thought 1,000 was a little high.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I honestly, and the select board can overrule this and make it whatever they feel like. I feel like doubling their pay to 600 a year is probably adequate. There's a lot for the planning commission this year because we're redoing the town plan. But on a normal year, there isn't a lot. The planning commission doesn't do that much. There are supposedly 2 meetings a month, but a lot of those get skipped when we're not doing a town plan. And
I don't remember missing too many planning board meetings.
No, I don't.
I could go back
Mike,
over. There were
come
many.
on, Mike.
We pretty much get.
And so,
That's all
and
right.
actually, this is one of those things that I guess my question on this is posed to Heather, Mike, and Bruce, because Gene and Billy should be recused from this discussion because they are on the planning commission. But to me, I feel like doubling it this year, if they have to still continue to do a lot of work next year, we could revisit it. But I think doubling the salary from 300 to 600 a year is probably adequate for the amount of work that they actually have to do, because most of the time they just attend meetings and staff do all the work for them. There isn't much in the way of, real time investment beyond those meetings.
And if you get to the end of the budget and the budget looks really good, you can always add a couple $100 to the planning commissioner's salary.
Right.
None of them are all gonna quit on us, and then we have no planning commission if we don't go up, are they? Are these all people that are gluttons for punishment?
Well, you got 2 of them right there. I don't think anybody's getting rich off the planning commission, but I also, there's 5 of them. So it's another $1,000 if you want to go up $800 to $800 on each of them. And
I think starting by doubling it and then maybe revisiting again next year.
I think it's good for $600. I wasn't even expecting that, so.
Do a stage.
I've been at
since we need
300
it.
for 15 years, I think.
I would say that would be all right.
Yeah, let's
I've been here, you've been at 300.
go with that, Mike. Let's let that go with that. That
Mm.
sounds good.
Okay. Okay,
Mhm.
so I put that in there, and then I actually added the line items. So the planning commission does have Katie does their minutes for them, and she gets $50 a month to do that. And we did not have that in the budget last year, so it was something that was added because nobody wanted to do the minutes that was on the board. So that is an additional cost that's part of the planning commission, and I added as a separate line item. And Teresa, because Teresa pointed out to me that it was included in the original her report. They came off the accounting software. She had done kind of lumped that in with their stipends, but I did break it out separate so that it shows.
And that probably includes printing out a copy of the minutes, posting them in the book in the town and posting them on the website.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I know they're always posted, so. And she posts their agendas too, so. Health officer, I didn't change. Nobody else asked for a raise, so health officer didn't change. Board of Civil Authority didn't change. Development Review Board, the library trustee. Why were the library trustees? I wanted to ask you this, Teresa, because I couldn't figure out why were they 3,200 and they were 1,500 in the budget.
Good question. I'll have to look into that.
I couldn't figure out why. I went looking, and there's just the 3,200 came out of. I just want to make sure that the budget is right in what's. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. So I guess we need to revisit that and just make sure. I put 3,200 in the budget because that's what we spent. But if it's supposed to be 1,500, we can fix that.
No, because if it was 1,500, they'd only be getting paid $300 a piece. And they get paid $500 a piece. There's 6 of them,
Okay,
5 of them.
so it should be 3,200.
Should be
I guess the
3,200.
budget was wrong last year.
Correct.
There's five, right?
5, right, but they get 5, yeah, 25.
And probably their chair gets a bump.
Social Security, child care tax credit, those calculate.
A lot of these are all the same.
Yeah, the mileage and the training for the town officers, I kind of bumped those down to 500 because we don't really ever spend that line item. It was 700, but I figured we could save a couple $100 on that. The insurance, do you think that's a fair number, Teresa? We spent 68,000 this year, so I put it in
Yes.
68,000.
Yep.
Why did it go up so much?
Actually, I think that what it was is that we missed a January payment a December payment from the year before.
Yeah,
So
but
there
that's
was an
gonna be
extra
20,000.
Well, it would be that it was.
It would
It
still be the
looks
same.
like it means that our budget should be 43,000.
43,000 is what it should be, but
think it
because I
should
had
be?
to pay. I think it should be 43.
Okay.
We'll get a bill from them soon.
Yep.
We'll
And
know
then
what it
just
is.
correct it.
That's a known number.
I think the rest of these are all pretty well set, right? So
Yeah.
they can kind of just
Tree
buzz
line,
through 'em.
tree side,
And female reimbursement. Blah, 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 blah.
So long-term debt, that was a big bump because we went up $75,000 over last year because of delinquent taxes. The
But we
flood
don't control that.
No. So you can see we actually did get part of our reimbursements came in from FEMA this year. We got 128,732. I have more. I mean, we still have 328,000 outstanding. So that's in process still. But at some point, I believe we only have like 294,000 in reimbursements coming in, and so we're going to have an expense. So that's why I kept it in there like that. We will have to pay off part of that. Will come out of our budget.
Is what it is.
Yeah, well, they don't pay 100%. So, we have
Right.
a match on everything. Interest, I bumped that up. We have big interest expenses right now because of all these big projects. And some of this number might change because I think some of this interest expense may be tied to the wastewater treatment plant facility, and that
It
we can
is.
actually put back into that project. Because the town shouldn't be paying that. That should be coming out of that project itself. So, but we're not done with adjustments yet. So this number will probably
Only
change.
been an hour.
Legal, I bumped that up a couple thousand because we're going into union negotiations. And I don't know, how much did we have legal? Was it 24 that we did the first union contract?
Yeah.
Yes, January, I think it was around, well,
Ooh.
wait a minute.
Yeah, 24 is when, 25 is when we started it, but it was all negotiated in 24. So I was just trying to figure out how much.
Right, yeah.
So we had 33,000 in legal fees that year. I'm gonna hope that we can do a better job of that. I tend not to use the attorneys as much if I don't have to for, I don't call them for every dumb thing in the world. I'm wondering if we might want to bump that up though. Do you think we should do 20 maybe?
Well, it depends how you're going to use the attorney. Do you need, how much of that is for the union part?
I'm gonna assume that that'll be the vast majority of what we're gonna have.
Right.
Which is a labor attorney, which is more expensive than a normal attorney.
Actually, Sarah, our normal attorney does all of that. She's done all the union stuff with us.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, normally that line item would run less than $6,000, but you know,
Well, the union won't talk to me. They'll only talk to her. So go figure. I'm gonna bump it to 20 and see how we come out. Hopefully we won't spend that, but
We also have a couple of court cases this year.
yes, I know. And CPA, so 8,500 is what was budgeted. I think this is another line item that needs to get allocated because I think part of that goes back to water and sewer.
is that the single audit?
Yes.
Yep.
And that should be split between a couple different places. And so that I haven't gone back to do that one yet. I kind of didn't see it until this afternoon when I was working on the budget. I was like, oh, I forgot about that. So I put 8,500 in again because I believe it gets allocated 8,500 to town, 8,500 to water, and 8,500 to sewer because they both have big projects that are driving the single audit requirements. Waste management, I bumped that up a little bit as far as cost and revenue, because we're going to start in the spring, we're going to start accepting bulky items, but people will be paying for that. And so it doesn't look like the sticker program actually we didn't break even on that, but that waste management line item includes the waste removal for all of our town offices. The town doesn't have any trash cost beyond this. So I think the program has actually been worthwhile. And I think that when we add some other abilities to pay and take in other items, we'll actually might be able to make this profit, at least make a profit as opposed to just break even. Advertising, I kept that the same. DLCT, these are all pretty much the same, or they've given us their dollar amounts already. They will probably, some of these might, actually, these won't change. These are all set. The only one I did take up the Brighton Community Forum, which is the Welcome Center. It has been $2,000 since 2003. And that is a building that we have in town that we do utilize, and seems like we could bump that one up a little bit. Cemetery. So Joel, I just added it on this line item, but I didn't break it out as far as the commissioners, and we might want to. I just didn't know if we wanted to make that a separate line item or not. Right now we give set $5,000 to the cemetery, and the cemetery commissioner stipends come out of that. But we actually can't get cemetery commissioners. Nobody wants to do it because we don't pay anything. So what Joel and I had talked about was perhaps going to $500 a year for a cemetery commissioner, because there should be 3 of them. And so I added that $1,500 as an addition to what we already put aside for the cemetery. Don't know if that dollar amount's really going to attract anybody, but we can hope.
This is just.
And all the rest of those on
Just-
that page are all just allocations that have been approved, right?
So the miscellaneous one here, the $72,000, that is all going to get allocated back out. We'll be back
Yeah.
down around 3,000. We just haven't gotten through all of those yet. Those are all the same. Yes, so lake protection. I bumped the cost up to 16,000 because it's fairly stable in what it actually costs. And I actually, instead of, because in the past we just put $8,000 in the budget, we didn't actually show there's a big grant that we get off of that. We got almost $12,000 in grant money on that program this year. So, but I have heard from the Nymph-Magog watershed people that the grant money is less this year. So I kind of bumped that down to 10,000 and bumped up the cost to 16. And other than that, nothing else there changed. The state, is there a reason we didn't pay state property tax?
It's
Or is
just
that-
not in there. We paid it,
Yeah, it's
but
probably
not due this
it's
year.
probably up here in the miscellaneous category.
Yeah.
So I kind of assumed, but I thought maybe they would let us off for free. So when you
That's a
get down
good
to the
start.
bottom, I came out with, I was hoping to be under 10% for an increase. We're at 10%, but I'm not sure. I have to figure out what we're going to do about, that whole idea of carrying over reserve funds from the year before that we could use to help offset some of these costs. I haven't done the revenue yet, so we will be doing that. I can show you the end of year revenue that we have, but it's not all allocated out. Okay. Bump that up so maybe you can read it. So we actually came out pretty good on the revenue side last year. We actually came in over on that. So it made us look pretty good.
Mike, is on the expense side up above the 10% increase, is that proposed to proposed?
Yes, proposed to proposed.
Okay. Ten's a little high than we normally go, but maybe.
Part of that's because we added the new positions
Right.
that we need desperately, but one of those might come out if we don't get our USDA grant.
Sure, make me moderator and then we have to make me have to stand up there in front of people with a 10% increase. Sure.
Yep. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, the sheriff's department will be there. Don't worry about it.
Oh, good.
Okay,
Because we scheduled them for 40 hours.
yeah. And they're gonna do after that. So,
So do we
That-
have any questions on any of that, changes you guys want to see before? I mean, I will send you a revised one probably in another day or two with the revenue stuff on it, and Teresa and I will be going through and kind of finishing all the line item changes that need to take place.
I'm good.
Here.
Good job.
Okay, so that moves us to other business. No, we already did other business, didn't we?
Yep.
Well, no,
So
you can add it,
moves
but I
us-
don't have any other business.
It moves us to the executive session.
We need an executive?
It
A
was an
quick
update,
one.
so I'm assuming that we
What's
need one.
that?
Just a quick one.
So
It's just
who
a
do we
quick
need
personnel
in on
discussion.
that executive?
Everybody but, everyone but you.
Everyone but me?
Yes, I have to kick you out for this because I have to talk about
No.
your salary.
Um. Hi, guys.
Need me, right?
Do
You
I come,
can,
do I come back in when the session ends?
you don't have to because they can end it because we're going to literally be 5 minutes.
Okay, so this means I'm out.
I think you ought to wait out in the hallway.
Oh, I'm going to wait out in the hallway. Then
Yeah.
I'm going to hand you the laminator and the fish.
Oh, there you go.
And I can go, Mike? Can I go?
If you want to, yeah, you don't have to stick around for this one.
All right.
Here's your scissors.
See you
Yes,
guys.
along
later.
with-
So who's gonna motion?
Hi, Joel.
When?
Good night, guys.
Make a motion.
Who's gonna second it?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Exiting.
Did you want me to stay or?
Sorry,
I
I
mean-
thought you had made a motion already.
No, I'll make a motion that we enter into executive session in order to discuss personnel matters under the provisions of Title I, Section 313 of the Vermont statutes, finding that premature public knowledge would substantially disadvantage the town. No decisions are expected following the executive session.
And a second.
Second.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to recuse myself. Talk to you guys later.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we exit, executive session.
At 6:58,
Second it.
and that was Bill and Mike. All in favor? I guess we'll
Aye.
do that. Okay. So,
We have to go back, record to adjourn.
You can do that. I'm recording. I recorded that.
yeah,
because-
so
Oh, we
like,
did,
we
we
need
did.
to get, now you gotta adjourn the meeting. Make a motion
Yeah,
to join.
May, yeah,
That was executive. Now we
Yeah.
wanna,
yeah, just
I
make
want
a
to adjourn
motion.
the whole
to-
thing.
Yeah, adjourn the whole thing, adjourn the select board meeting. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
I'll second it.
all in favor? All right.
Aye.